Hey guys, Dan Malone here for MassLive.com alongside, as always, Andrew Sear of the Massachusetts Daily Collegian. We're here at the Mullen Center on Saturday after another UMass loss. It's fifth straight. This one 86-75 at the hands of St. Louis, a team which, interestingly enough, I think its last two road games in the A10, their last two wins, have come in this building. The last one going back 2 years to that Jordair Jet game at the very end. This game was not quite like that, not nearly as exciting. Didn't come down to the wire, mostly because UMass led up a 22-2 run, which featured 17 straight points by the Billikens, kind of just after the start of the second half. UMass gave up a couple quick points. They regathered themselves, and then everything just fell apart. And it was kind of everything that had gone wrong in the first half, just kind of times two. The Billikens were super aggressive getting to the lane. They started hitting some threes. UMass's interior defense was awful throughout the game, and it just kind of snowballed. You could see kind of looks on the players' faces, on Coach Derek Kellogg's face. I mean, he was just kind of standing there with his arms folded, waiting to see if they were going to kind of pull themselves out of this hole. And eventually, he was forced to take a timeout just because it had just gotten so bad. That turned a 3-point UMass lead into a 17-point deficit in about 7 minutes. And from there, UMass fought back. But when you have that kind of a hole to dig out of, sometimes you just can't get over the top, and they didn't today.
Yeah, and going back to the losses, all 5 of them have been by double digits.
Which that hasn't happened in years and years. I don't know exactly how long, but it's been a long time.
It's been a while, and I think that out of all 5 losses, I think this is by far the most disappointing.
This feels kind of like rock bottom.
Yeah, for UMass, especially because A10 entered the league last in scoring. Granted, they've kind of picked it up the last 2 games, but all in all, this is a game that, despite everyone's talking about this being a transition, you're just waiting for the recruits to come in. They're still games that you should win.
Yeah, these are winnable games that they have a chance to grab at the end and they just let slip away.
Exactly. You're facing one of the bottom teams of the Atlantic 10 at home.
Pick 12th.
Pick 12th, exactly.
Behind UMass in the preseason bowl.
And so just the way the wheels kind of fell off the wagon during that stretch, just UMass couldn't get back on defense, like you said. So many open threes, so many transition threes, and UMass just couldn't get it going. You saw Trey Davis, despite how he had 22 in the first half, but during that run was just shut out by St. Louis. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't create for himself or his teammates. And you saw so many times Dante Clark, Space, they all took contested shots early in the shot clock. Kellogg was not happy with that. You saw his facial reaction at times, just kind of rolling his eyes, just like, what can I do now to kind of spark these guys? But I think by far the worst loss of the season for UMass. And it's not like these losses are meaning anything. There's no ping pong balls in college. Yeah. These are the games that you need to teach your young guys. Like Coach Kellogg said in the press conference, this team's not going to blow anyone out. They're going to have to grind out wins like this. And this was a prime example of a game that they needed to grind out, and they didn't do it. And frankly, it was a pretty bad loss for UMass.
Press conference, by the way, that happened about 45 minutes after the game ended. It was clear that Kellogg was in there. I don't know what kind of speech he brought out after this one, but something's got to give. Something's got to change. I mean, we have not seen this team under Kellogg in several years now go through a stretch like this. Obviously, this team is not quite as talented as some of the ones that we've seen lately, but a loss like this is pretty inexcusable. Yeah. This was supposed to be the game that ended the 4-game losing streak, and all of a sudden UMass is giving up the baskets inside. They can't get back, like you said, in transition. They knew St. Louis wanted to be an up-tempo transition team coming in. They play 4 guards, and it's still UMass really struggled to kind of combat with that. It took a Trey Davis, miracle 3 at the buzzer to give UMass a lead at the halftime. And like you said, he kind of disappeared during that stretch. And you can't fault Trey Davis. I mean, he was 10 of 16. He made 6 threes, 5 or 6 threes.
Yeah, a couple of them from really deep too.
Yeah, he scored 10 straight points to kind of get them out of that awful rut they were in. The problem is he can't do it alone, and I feel like he thinks that he has to do it alone. You can tell just kind of the way he's playing out there. He's being ultra aggressive, maybe sloppily aggressive at times, and it doesn't help when Dante Clark and Jabari Hines and everyone else. I think they combined for 15 made baskets when Trey had 10. And it's been an ongoing problem with this team trying to find some guys to play consistently night in and night out, and it just kind of all snowballed in a really bad way for them tonight. And they're going to have to do some soul searching. I know they had a whole week to do that. That was kind of the big storyline. We have a week to get better. We have a week to shoot and kind of find ourselves. And that's a fun storyline to worry about. But now 5 straight. They're going down to St. Joe's to play DeAndre Bembry, who's absolutely just destroyed them. the past couple of years. So, this is a losing streak that, it's like I said, it feels like rock bottom, but it could get worse with this team. You don't know. That's night to night. You don't know. It could get worse.
It could, and I think that the biggest thing for them right now is they got to work on their consistency. We've even seen stretches at times where this team can put up, like Trey Davis. I think at the end of the first half, Trey hit like back-to-back deep three-pointers.
He finished with 36
yeah,
points.
He's finished with 36, and it seems like
just everyone else.
Yeah, and it seems like at times just the lack of focus, like the 17-0 run, like you mentioned, like there's no excuse for that. The lack of focus.
Which wasn't led by any like stud Jordair jet guard play like we saw a couple of years ago. This is a bunch of backup guys. Brett Jolly, who just recently got into St. Louis's kind of starting lineup, their main rotation, he was averaging like 7 minutes and 1.3 points. All of a sudden, he's out here playing crucial minutes. Marcus Bartley hitting back-to-back threes. Miles Reynolds, who was a starter. They got kind of pushed around by a weird amalgam of not great A10 players, and I think that says a lot about where this team is.
It does,
right
and
now.
I think the one stat to me that jumps off the page, bench points, 46-9 in favor of the Billikens.
Paint too, 40-20.
Yeah,
40-26.
All around bad loss for
UMass isn't going to win a lot of games when that happens. So
yeah.
I know we've seen it time and again. Who knows what we'll see down at St. Joe's? I don't. Will you be making that trip?
I will not be making the midweek trip.
Oh well, maybe I'll do the video on my own. Who knows? But
can Skype me in.
People would love that. So I guess we'll not sure when you see the next video, but thanks for watching. It's here. Thanks for
no problem.
As always, joining us.
Thank you, Dan.